Welcome everyone to a special weekend edition of NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ Aaron Rift. WWE Survivor Series is this coming Sunday, live on pay-per-view, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can check out full coverage at NoDQ.com. You can follow me on Twitter. I'll be tweeting about the pay-per-view as it progresses. Twitter.com/NoDQ.com. So check that out. Please spread the word. For now, I got a lot of questions. One of them is about a current event, so let's get right to it. What do you think about the recent Matt Hardy rehab situation, and do you ever see him wrestling again? For those of you that are just reading about it, Matt Hardy was kicked out of rehab for failing a breathalyzer test. According to Hardy, he had just taken mouthwash or something, and that was the reason for the test failure. But in any case, he was immediately arrested. And what else can be said? I mean, just not surprised at all. Very disappointed in him. As far as him wrestling again, not going to happen anytime soon. He's too much of a liability for WWE, too much of a liability for TNA. I mean, they got rid of him. As long as he's got his problems, you know, no major wrestling company is going to want to have anything to do with him. It's just really sad. Like I've said before, I hope he gets his act together, but sometimes in order to get help, you need to be able to help yourself first. And yeah, I just wish him the best, but there's not much else that can be said or done. Please answer me this question. Do you see title unification anytime soon and remove of the brand split? If WWE could pay attention to the low and mid card back in the day with one roster, they could do it again. 2 major titles are too much. Okay, here's the situation with the brand extension. As long as they're going to have 2 separate shows with 2 separate rosters, I think they're best having 2 separate titles. It's been working for the past 10 years, and I mean, you could have one champion on both shows, but I think it's a little bit easier to follow when you have one champion per show. Now, if they do decide to end the brand extension altogether, then at that point, it would make perfect sense to unify the titles and have one champion. But for now, I'm fine with the way they have it. I think it's a good formula, and like I've said, it's been working for the past 10 years just fine. So why change it unless you absolutely need to? Ric Flair's legacy of excellent feuds, matches, and insane promos have been reduced to bad hairpiece and terrible in-ring performances. When the hell will he stop? Unfortunately, he will probably stop the day he dies. I mean, Ric Flair is... If he was going to retire, he would have retired in 2008 when he had that big send-off. But the fact that he's still wrestling, you know, he needs the money. And quite frankly, he needs to be Ric Flair. And Ric Flair is 24/7, the kiss-stealing, limousine-riding, jet-flying son of a gun. So he's he cannot get away from that character in real life. He needs to be Ric Flair 24/7. So he's going to keep doing what he's doing until he's dead, you know. He can't just retire and, you know, be a guy, you know, just sitting on his couch watching TV. That's not Ric Flair. He has to be out and about doing his thing, or else, you know, there's no purpose in being alive. So I mean, it's a good way to live, you know, to want to be able to be keeping busy and doing things. But on the other hand, you know, you got to draw the line at some point. You know, when is enough enough? Yeah, he definitely shouldn't be wrestling anymore. I mean, I think there should always be a role for him if he wants to have a backstage role or, you know, be a trainer or something. I think there's lots of things that Ric Flair can still contribute to the business without actually having to put on the spandex and get in the ring. That's just my opinion. What's the fuss with Bryan? He is just another short jobber with a briefcase. You said it, not me. But seriously, don't be making fun of my brother like that. Although I don't really have the beard right now, so I don't know if I look quite as much like Bryan right now. The fuss about him is just, you know, everyone really respects him as an athlete, as, you know, a wrestler. He's not very charismatic. He's not a great promo, but in the ring, there's very few guys that can perform at his level. That's just the way it is. And he developed a reputation. He spent 10 years on the independent circuit, you know, busting his ass and earning one fan at a time from city to city. So he developed a fan base, and that's the fuss about him. Why do you think HBK never got a title run after 2002? I think he should have gotten at least one more proper run, and it would have made the feud with Triple H in 03-04 more interesting rather than Michaels jobbing all the time. The way I see it regarding Shawn Michaels in that period was, did he really need the title? I mean, he had already accomplished so much during his first run. When he came back, it wasn't really necessary for him to have the title. He could just go out there and still be the showstopper and still be the main event, and he didn't have to be world champion. So it didn't really matter. And I mean, I think it was cool that he did get that one brief run and got the Elimination Chamber win, but what else did he need besides that? And besides, the world champion, the WWE champion, they are going on the road all the time defending the title. And Shawn Michaels was working a part-time schedule. So for him to be world champion on a full-time basis, meaning he would have to be on the road full-time. And he just didn't want to do that. So I think if he was willing to commit to the full-time schedule, then perhaps they would have given him a longer reign as champion. What is your prediction for the main event of Survivor Series this Sunday? I honestly have no idea. It could go so many ways. I did a poll on NoDQ.com regarding the finish of Survivor Series, the main event, and there were 5 different options. You know, Rock and Cena winning, clean match, and then just having a stare down. Them winning, but then Rock bottom Cena after the match, or them winning, Cena gives the attitude adjustment to Rock, or Rock turning on Cena during the match, costing them the match, or Cena turning on Rock during the match and costing them the match. Those are the 5 options, and I think they all got like 20% each. So the predictions are all over the place, and honestly, I don't even think WWE has a finalized idea of how the match is going to end. I think it changes daily, and I'm sure the day of the show they're still going to be second-guessing what to do and coming up with different ideas. That's just the way they have been in the past several years. There's no long-term planning. They just kind of go with it the day of the show, what they think is the best way to go. My prediction is, when I'm thinking of what's going to happen, I'm going to go, and this is so sad to say, but I go with whatever the lamest possible thing is, and that would be Rock and Cena just beating the 2 guys and, maybe kind of, taunting the crowd and trying to see who can get the bigger reaction and, having a little stare down or whatever. But that's what I think is going to happen. I don't even think that there's going to be a rock bottom to one guy or the attitude adjustment to the other guy. I just see them winning and having a little bit of tension, and the pay-per-view will end with them reluctantly raising hands together, and that'll be it. Hope more than happen. I hope something happens to besides that, but that's my prediction, and I hope I'm wrong. All right, that about does it for No DQ&A video. Like I said before, check out the Survivor Series coverage on NoDQ.com this weekend, and I'll be back Sunday night with a quick recap video, and then on Monday with another No DQ&A video. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.